We've got Richland County rivals all booted, suited, and ready for action here inside of the fabulous Colt Corral in stunning Bellville, where Lexington invading Clear Fork country tonight for a clash between former conference foes. It's live and free boys high school soccer streaming exclusively on the OH Report anywhere the internet can be found. And it's all on the way next.
In today's world of supply chain shortages and disruptions, having raw material or finished goods inventory on hand to fill customer orders is more important than ever. Based in North Central Ohio and with locations nationwide, including 5 throughout the Buckeye State, MWD Logistics can find your business the warehouse space needed to manage your distribution and logistic needs. Grow your bottom line with flexible warehousing solutions at MWD Logistics.
Going to cheerleading camp next to the abandoned insane asylum, it's like throwing the blood away.
50% of Americans like watching blood get spilled in horror movies, but only 3% donate it.
Now that's scary.
Are you looking for a solid career, job security, great pay, and rapid advancement? An important role with a global leader that invests in state-of-the-art technology, develops world-class solutions, and is committed to a cleaner tomorrow? Yeah, we have just what you're looking for.
Good evening, folks, and welcome into the Mansfield Roofing and Home Improvement pregame alongside the fabulous Garrett Parlett. My name is Brian Skoronsky, and got a fun match tonight, G-Man. You know, it's one of the last chances for both of these teams to impress the other area coaches before tournament draw comes up this weekend. And two coaches very familiar with one another actually grew up alongside playing soccer with each other.
Yeah, a little bit of fun fact, high school teammates too, so, you know, maybe a little bit more to this game than just, you know, what's going to happen in between, you know, those lines out there between Nate Gailey and, of course, head coach of the Lexington Minutemen, Peter Tim. It's a good matchup coming in, but Lexington should have the upper hand. We'll see if Clear Fork's able to kind of upset them here at home.
As you mentioned, the Minutemen should have the upper hand here tonight. They have been the dominant team in Richland County for decades now, and you look at this season, 9 wins already, looking to get into double figures yet again with a victory here tonight, coming off of a beatdown of West Holmes, their final OCC game. And you see how good they've been defensively so far, G. Also a team that they can score in high volumes as well.
Yeah, they won the last 6 of their 7 matches, and the only loss in those 7 matches was the OCC winner, Worcester, who finished first. And on that run, they outscored opponents 33 goals to just 6. So Worcester knows how to get it done on both sides of the soccer pitch, you could say. They scored 4.2 goals per game, allowed just 1.1. So Lexington, a very well-rounded squad, you could say the least.
And they got a kid in Alex Depperschmidt. He's just such an excellent combo of speed, agility, and a fabulous feel for the game too, G. When he gets into the attacking third, what I love so much about him is that he's not always looking for his own shot. He's crafty, and he's got a ton of great assists so far in the year too, leading the team in both scoring and helpers.
You don't see, very often a team that their leading goal scorer has more assists than he does goals, and it's pretty impressive that Alex Depperschmidt has that capability where he can, dish it off to a teammate or he can do it himself. And he's one of the better players in the area. But you got to love about Lexington, they got multiple guys who can score. Dylan George, of course, and Will Perkins as well. Two other guys that is going to help Mr. Depperschmidt out himself, as he's going to be able to find them in the box and create some opportunities for them too.
All right, let's talk about the home team for tonight, G. Talking about a Clear Fork team, 11 wins in each of the last 3 seasons, taking a bit of a dip here in 2022. And when you look at the schedule for them, no signature wins. Of those 6 losses, all have come against some of the upper tier, better programs that they've had on the schedule. So they've beat the teams that they're supposed to, but when they've been in matches like this, not a lot of success has been had.
Yeah, they're on that 2-game win streak, but as you mentioned, they've beaten the teams they're supposed to. It's a tough task today against a Lexington club coming in that, finished third in the OCC. The OCC very loaded in soccer this side on the boys' side. So Clear Fork, they got a tough task today against Lexington, but the player to watch for them is Connor Hauger. He's going to be the guy that they have to get the ball in space to, and he's got to be able to get, towards the box and get some shots on goal if they want a chance to win here today.
Yeah, Connor's going to be our player spotlight, no question about it. One of the most exciting players in the area. His foot skills just really unmatched by very many that we have in North Central Ohio. So when number 4 in black has the rock, you notice he just looks a little bit different. He's very confident anywhere out on the field. So clearly that's the guy stirring the drink around here in Colt Country.
Yeah, Brian, we've seen him. Me and you called that game against Mansfield Christian. And he was shifty in space. If he's got the rock and there's no bodies up against him, he's going to do some damage. So Lexington, expect him to send multiple guys towards him, when he's got the ball on his foot, and look for him to try to penetrate in deep into the box. But Lexington, I'm sure they got something worked up their sleeve. They're a very good defensive team, are the Minutemen.
So a key for Clear Fork here tonight might just be get Connor the rock, right?
I would think so. I think that would be the key for me at least. Get Connor some good looks, get Mr. Hauger open in space. Let him maybe not only be a distraction at the same point, but maybe let him set up some teammates like Depperschmidt does on the other side. Maybe Hauger's able to do that here tonight. They're going to need him to step up tonight.
And for me, just keep it close. I mean, Lexington is a team that has really dominated in this. If you even want to call it a rivalry, it's been very one-sided. So the longer you can hang around, the better chance that you give yourself at the end of the match. And then also, a little bit of doubt might start creeping into Lexington's head if you can keep them off the scoreboard for a while. Keys tonight for Lexington, G-Man. Where do you think that lies?
Well, Brian, Lexington, their only losses so far this season are on the road. So a little fun fact for you, but I think for them, play fast and play furious. They got to get going. They got speed all throughout the pitch. Through the Minutemen, Depperschmidt, Perkins, George, they all can fly around, and they're quick. Perkins, I know his athletic ability. Got an interview with him. He did a back foot for me, Brian.
Yeah.
So watch out here for tonight for the speed for Lex.
Opening kick is underway, so that will wrap up our Mansfield Roofing and Home Improvement pregame as we are in to some Richland County soccer action. 2 boys teams that meet every single year, former conference rivals in the OCC before Clear Fork broke away, I think about 6 years ago, to join the MOAC. It's been a little bit better fit for them for all of their sports. They were the smallest team in the OCC, so I think both teams happy where they're at. Certainly Lexington has had a ton of success here of late. We're talking 2 state Final Fours in the last 3 seasons, so this is the premier boys program in North Central Ohio right now, and looking to get off to a hot start here as it's Depperschmidt with a cross, just a bit too tall for the header, as that one's deflected out of there, but a great look already, just a minute into the match for Lex.
And that was quick. Nice cross, and Depperschmidt, they're going to try to do it again, but Clear Fork trying to clear it. Let's see if they can do so, and they will, but Lexington already on the attack here early.
Take a look here in the Park National Bank replay, just over the head that time, and it still worked out as they were able to get a shot on frame from Michael Tagliati. But it results in just a throw-in here on the far sideline for Clear Fork, so they dodge an early bullet. But will the onslaught continue here for Lexington? It will, with a big shot, but Griffin Blakely goes down to a knee for a big save.
You mentioned Griffin Griffin Blakely, 65 saves on the season so far, so that'll be 66. As Clear Fork able to get a stop, clear it, and now they're going to try to go on the counter. Lexington able to knock it out. But quick start here for the Minutemen here early.
Colts able to flip the field as they're going to have a throw in deep in Minutemen territory. Got Liam Beer handling these duties. And he'll come in short, right back to him. Lay it back now for Sam Swindell. And this is the guy they want to get the ball to, of course. Hager in space draws a quadruple team. And it's just poked away into the hands of the keeper.
Yeah, the Colts got to find a way to get him open, and because Lexington, the kind of defensive team that they are, they're going to send bodies immediately as soon as he touches the rock. They only allow about a goal a game, do the Minutemen, so they know how to play defense around here for the Lexington Minutemen.
And that's been the staple of the program since Peter Tem has taken over. They've had obviously some very exciting players, some high-scoring teams, but their back line, you can always count on them to keep Lexington in the match pretty consistently. I mean, they're only giving up around a goal per game for the last several seasons in a row.
Yeah, I mean, since I've been covering, local sports, Lexington has been the team to watch for, and even when they graduate, the kind of players that they typically do on a year-to-year basis, they're always competing for the OCC title. They're right there with Ashland and Worcester. They were fighting for a spot, but they would eventually fall to third, as Ashland finished second, of course, and Worcester first. So Lexington, I think you could call a powerhouse here in men's soccer in Richland County.
Yeah, absolutely no question. I talked about the two Final Fours that they've made, 2021, 2019. A regional finalist in 2020 as well. So the senior class, G-Man, 63 wins for them, just 11 losses and 5 draws. And I talked about the postseason accolades that they've had. A lot of tournament games under their belt, and I think they're expecting certainly more of the same. They will be the district favorite yet again in Division II here in the area, as we're going to get a foul that's going to go against Jackson Husty here. And good opportunity here for the Colts with a set piece coming up from about 35 yards out.
See if they can cash in here. Jackson Husty, I remember covering their game against Bay for the Minutemen, and they were down 1-0 with about 5 minutes remaining, and Husty hit about a 30-yard free kick that would go in. That was his only goal of the season, and what a time to hit it. It would end up going in and tying that game. So that would have been a loss, but ended up in a tie.
Galloway sends it in, and it's going to drop down at the feet of a Minuteman. So here comes the counter attack for the kids in white. So much team speed out there. See the blow-by on the outside by Will Perkins, who one of the crazier athletes that we have here in the area. He talks about the kid doing the backflip in the interview. That's him right there.
Yep. And it's kind of hard to tell him and Will Perkins apart from up here. If they didn't have the numbers on the jerseys, I don't think I would be able to. They kind of have a similar style of play, super quick and super agile on their feet. They have a similar play style, those two.
Big through ball's going to sneak through. Nick Martin unable to chase it down as Lex gets there first. Excellent turn on the outside by Perkins. He's just such a twitchy player. And like you said, very similar to Depperschmidt. They've got kind of similar hairstyles too. Yeah. So from a distance, if they didn't have different numbers, it kind of would be tough to tell them apart. Oh, creating a 3-on-3 here as Hager chips it into the box. It's deflected. And now cleared this time by the Minutemen. Starting to get some numbers coming forward. But Clear Fork does a nice job of shutting it down before the offensive attack really has a chance to start formulating. And another ball punched up into space. And it's going to be handled by the keeper, Stewart.
Stewart so far this season, 60 saves on the year. They expect a lot out of him back there. Able to get one there, but Lexington, they had numbers on that previous attack, but good deflection from the Colts. Clear it and try to push it in, but not able to do so. Is now Lexington and Depperschmidt on the attack.
Alex to the outside, makes a run. They'll get it to him in the corner. He's got a little bit of green in front of him. Lex to lay it off for George. And the Colts are able to get it out of harm's way yet again. And actually, G-Man, I just noticed that they've elected to put Griffin Blakely up top. This is him with the first touch, so they've got him playing the field tonight. He's one of their better scoring threats. Obviously, he's their best keeper in the net. But they're going to give the senior a chance to be a difference maker tonight on the offensive end, as they've got Bryson Schaffner back in between the pipes.
45 saves for Schaffner so far this season, so not a huge drop-off between the two. They elected to put Blakely out in the field. They like his chances out there, so we'll see if that goes to work in their favor. They're going to need it tonight against a very tough squad.
Galloway pushes it into the mix, broken up by Lexington. And that's Owen Smith, who got his pocket picked. And now Beachy takes the bump. He draws the whistle. That's going to be the third foul already against the Minutemen, and just 7.5 minutes in.
Yeah, Lexington, a very physical team that I've noticed from covering them over the years. They like to play physical, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just sometimes you got to adjust when, they're going to call the fouls. As this one almost laid out there perfectly, but just wide to the left there.
Go down as the first shot of the match for Clear Fork. And I like the idea here by Galloway. Bent it just over the top. So the Colts holding their own here in the opening 8 minutes. After Lexington looked like they were going to take the lead just about 50 seconds into the contest. Now Clear Fork starting to settle in, creating their own opportunities. As that's a nice step to the rock by Hayden Wilson. Getting it to Beachy, who again gets knocked down, and clearly a foul. You see Husty that didn't like the call, but that one seemed pretty obvious.
Yeah, correct call right there. Husty just a little too physical there, stepping out.
Boom!
Giving him a little bit of the shoulder, so Clear Fork here with another chance with a free kick.
They're going to let Hogger handle it this time, so I think it's going to indicate that they're going to shoot it. And it's going to go wide to the right side, so they missed it left and high. Now low and to the right on this one.
I like these attempts, though, Take as many as you want, fire away, try to make the goalkeeper work back there. You might get a little lucky here, get a deflection, it might fall in. So not able to convert so far here for the Colts, but I'm sure they're going to continue to try to find a strategy. But here's Depperschmidt in the Minutemen on the run.
What a move by Depperschmidt to the outside. He's got such phenomenal feet. Backtracks now, and it's going to be taken away by Galloway. Standing in the attack is Perkins. Driving it to the far wing, brought down by Hogger. So it'll be the first foul here against Clear Fork. And we'll set up a set piece. And we'll see how Lex elects to play this one. They've got a unique angle here. Couple players, if they want to play it short. Instead, they'll drive it into the box. Back post. Perkins is there. Got a head on it. Just wasn't able to angle it on frame.
That was Husty, the one who took the free kick, was going for Perkins. They're in that corner, but not able to get it on frame as it just sailed just a little bit. Take a look at the Maumee Bay Turf Center replay. Perkins was close. That was a good attempt.
Lex wins it in the midfield off the restart. Decent build-up. Colts were ready for it, though. As a couple of volleys lands now at the feet of Hogger. Off the pressure, Connor with a turnover. And now he's going to get shoved to the turf. Foul number 5 on the Minutemen. And he talks about the physicality that they play with. I think it's just representative of their head coach and kind of his style and his nature. Pete's a sweetheart, of course, but at the same time, once the first whistle is blown, he's a very aggressive guy. He's a little boisterous out there. So I think that they're just an extension of that on the field. As that one's headed up into trouble area, if you're a Lexington fan. But they're able to get it out of harm's way, actually keep it in bounds. Nice hustle action that time by Turlo.
Yeah, you can tell Pete's a competitor. I would like to see him, what he was like when he was back playing, years ago. But I'm sure he was a fiery guy. He's a fiery coach, and I'm sure that's great to play for him.
He talks about the fact both he and Coach Gailey, teammates, both fellow 2002 graduates, grew up together playing bitty soccer on the same teams, And this was new information to me. I honestly did not know that they were childhood friends and have grown up as two guys that said that they never tussled back in the day, never got into like an argument or a fight or anything, just always been the top-notch quality guys that they've shown themselves to be out here on the sidelines.
You got to think that brings a little bit more to these games. Not only these teams, Richland County rivals, but they might not say it, but it's deep down in there.
And I think especially for Nate, he's never beat Pete, of course.
Yeah.
So, gosh, I'm sure he would love just one time for, when the boys get out, and have a nice little drink. Hey, remember 2002, baby? Or, whatever year they could bring up a nice win. Whereas if it's one-sided, you just got to kind of keep your mouth closed. Don't bring it up too much. Probably talk about other things. How's the kids? Because in a rivalry, it's got to go both ways.
Right.
Got to for it to be considered a true rivalry. Here's Depperschmidt. 2-on-4 here. Somehow found its way back to Alex. Threads it through, but a diving stop there by Bryson.
Depperschmidt was looking for George. Not able to get it to him. A little bit too much. Keeper able to come up, slide and save it. Keep it out of harm's way. It's still not at zeros.
Made a nice break, too, off of his line to come out and just shut it down before it had a chance to really develop. So we're about 14 minutes gone by. I want to say hello to everybody out there watching on Facebook and YouTube. And as always, love hearing from you. Drop us a comment. Let us know how you're taking in tonight's action. Are you watching maybe somewhere, hanging out at a beach in California? Or are you here in Ohio at home? Or are you watching this near miss from like the Rocky Mountains? Well, we want to hear from you, know where you're watching from and who you're cheering for tonight.
Depperschmidt already had a couple times where he's pushed this ball into the box, and this one, just a little bit of a flick, but just offline there to the left is Depperschmidt continuing to push the pace here for the Minutemen.
And just an amazing weather night that we have here, G-Man. It's kind of the perfect fall night, in my opinion, not a cloud in the sky. It's starting to cool off since the sun has set, but temperatures in the 60s. This is what you're talking about when you're thinking about early November.
A lot different from last night, too. Last night was chilly. I mean, it was cold up in the MC press box, but not tonight. I got the shorts on, so still warm enough to rock these.
Now, shorts for you typically will last well into November, right?
Yeah, I would probably say December. I probably start putting them away. I got to put them up.
That ball driven in, trying to make its way into the box. Clear Fork was there. I've already made the decision. I got about 2 pairs still available. I mean, I got the gym shorts out. You got to have that. Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of you guys last night in the press box, and I see old Storm Blunchley's got on, the stocking
puffer,
cap,
yeah.
North Face jacket. So a lot different here tonight with both of y'all coming out here with your calves exposed.
Yeah, I got them out. Got to flaunt them. So not where they used to be though. Still, it's a little bit smaller than how they used to be. Don't keep up with the leg work, Alex, as much as I want to.
And then our producer, Adam Thompson, brought his own heater last night. So we didn't need none of that. Matter of fact, when we got into the press box, Adam carried all the stuff up for us, getting in his nightly workout for the OH report and had a nice sweat going. I got up here into the box, and oh my, good thing I had a portable fan I was actually carrying with me.
Yeah.
Came in pretty clutch. Going to get what I think is the first substitution of the night. It's going to be made by Lexington. So fresh body into the game, and immediately they're going to target the new player, which is Jackson Pig. Nice turn by Perkins. Got a little bit of space, uncorks one. But we've seen that about 3-4 times already. Clear Fork just giving up the body, standing in the way, and it doesn't matter if you blast from distance if there's a body in between.
From the games I've covered Lexington so far this season, talking with Will Perkins after their win over Madison, he really alluded to that. Some of his teammates, they get on him when he doesn't decide to fire those shots. This one, I think, was the one he just had was one that, maybe a couple months ago he wouldn't have shot. He would have tried to pass up and look for a teammate. But they get on him. They say, take the shot. It's worth it. And he's going to have another opportunity right here.
How beautifully measured was that pass by Depperschmidt? Really challenging angle for Perkins to try to get that one on frame. He came pretty close, but look at this ball is just right where it needs to be.
Puts it exactly where Perkins will have a shot. Not able to really put it on frame, but make the keeper work, keep him on his toes back there as Lexington really beginning to dominate time of possession.
Owen Bourne checking in for the first time tonight. Be in the mix here for Clear Fork as Nick Martin, the freshman, taking a seat. Breaking into the starting lineup now for the Colts. As the sun almost completely set here in the valley, so the day's just getting shorter and shorter. That, along with the trees, of course, is how you know the fall. I mean, it's really kicking in at this point.
Kind of snuck up on me. I didn't realize that it was already October, until really a couple of days ago. Finally set in. It's like quick first month here for fall sports in September.
Well, with everything getting pushed up, it's really a month and a half now. So we're well into football season. Right. We're almost playoffs.
Done, yeah.
It's kind of crazy to think about. NFL season a quarter of the way through.
That makes my heart hurt. I don't want to hear that.
Well, now that they got the 18 weeks, I guess not entirely. Not completely a quarter of the way. Good chance here for Perkins as Clear Fork, you see everybody just kind of retreating, getting back outside the box. This has been the method that's worked for him. But not this time. Driven into the back of the net. Schaffner tried to make a diving save, but it just did squeak by, and it's going to be Lexington on top. 1-0 as they strike first about 19 minutes in.
Nice setup right there. Perkins gave it right back to him. Trying to catch a number on who was able to make it splash, Brian.
They're just so calm about it, too.
Number 9.
So it's going to be Zachary Turlow with his 6th goal of the campaign.
Got 2 attempts at it, too. Clear Fork was able to deflect one, but the velocity on that second one was a bit too much for the keeper as Turlow gets Lexington on the board here early against Clear Fork, about halfway through this first half. So they'll take a 1-0 lead over the Colts.
I think that's big for, Lexington to strike first. You always want to get on the board first, have the early lead, try to seize a little bit of the momentum. As the Colts commit a foul here, and it's going to set up a free kick.
This is about that area, Brian, where Husty hit that free kick to tie things up against Bay. So maybe do go with a different approach this time. Try to get it to a teammate to head in, but this one will fall out of play and be a goal kick for the Clear Fork Colts.
8 shots so far on the night for Lexington, just 3 of them on frame. But the biggest one, of course, coming just about 20 seconds ago in game time. And again, I like the composure, act like you've been there type of thing, but there really wasn't that much excitement for the goal.
No, Turlow, he's done it a couple times this season. He's up to 6 goals now. That was his 6th, so he's been in the moment. They're kind of team that I don't think they like to celebrate until the job's finished, and that's at the end of the game. So they'll keep a level head about it until things are over because I know in the post-game interviews they like to get a little crazy. So
we'll see how that goes tonight. If it is Lexington who ends up earning the Park National Bank Player of the Game, or if Clear Fork can fight their way back into this one. Still tons of time to go, of course, but with the Minutemen, it always seems like it's just a matter of time with these speedsters, as Perkins, with a lot of contacts, doesn't earn a whistle, dropped down just outside the box, and actually he was inside the box, so that would have been a PK.
Ooh. Not sure how they even had a chance for that one, Lexington, but somehow able to get ahead on it. was the Minutemen, but they can continue to take shots at will here, regardless if they're on goal or not. Continue to make the keeper work back there and stay with his head on a swivel.
And while we were chit-chatting a little bit with Peter Tim before the match, I did want to ask him. I had one question that I wanted to know about just the talent that they've been able to produce now. I mean, he's been there double-digit years at this point, and they've been competitive. Beyond that, actually. They've been extraordinary here of late and even early on. Does he feel like it's just a good feeder system that they've built for Lexington with some of the younger programs over there, or if he's done a nice job of getting these guys as freshmen and then kind of, procuring them as they've been at the high school level? Just try to get his thoughts on that, because I see Pete, on the weekends he coaches his daughter's team, and I know that he's heavily involved. So, not all programs have great feeder systems. I wonder if Lexington's one of those that they just got a ton of great coaches that help out, because it's it's so valuable. Certainly here at Clear Fork, I can speak to what we've seen from them, and on the girls' side, where Brittany Bechtel coaches like 100 teams just to make sure that they're all getting quality coaching.
I remember, I believe it was the first season that I was working high school sports. I think Depperschmidt might have been a freshman, and he was already making an impact. So there are guys from Lexington that are younger guys that are just coming in that they already make an impact. As soon as they touch, the high school facility, they move up to varsity immediately. So Lexington, they got it going on when it talks about boys and men's soccer.
And I think that we're seeing this season more than any other that I can remember, freshmen being not just impact players, but big difference makers for a lot of our programs here in North Central Ohio. When you look on the boys' side, certainly Madison, they're kind of led by a few freshmen. The girls in Ontario, and what those two studs have been able to accomplish so far this season. And just about every program seems like they've got at least a couple of freshmen that are getting in there, getting some big minutes.
And that's big too, even if they're not making a huge impact, but to be able to step in there and have the impact like some of those, schools you just alluded to. Imagine what those players are going to be like in 3 years when they're seniors. I mean, they're going to be incredible players. So it's awesome to have, a program and players like that on your club.
Good-looking cross by Blakely, but a better job of disrupting at that time by Husty to get a foot on it before it was able to get to the back end for a big shot from the Colts, who at this point, just 2 shots, both of those coming off of set pieces, and neither of them were on frame. So still haven't had a chance to test Nolan Stewart whatsoever.
Thought there was a whistle called there. Was curious what Dylan George was doing there. Maybe just trying to play it off, but refs did call one. So be a free kick here for Husty and the Minutemen.
Low line driver played out of the air here by Beer. Oh, good looking move that time. A lot of traffic in the area though, and Clear Fork comes away with a turnover. But I think typically what is a big difference maker between some top-notch teams and just your ordinary or even good teams is their ability to pass in heavy traffic. I saw that last night with the OCC champions in Worcester, and I was truly amazed by how many little passes they're willing to make, where it's just, 5-6 inches is the only area that they're able to fit it into. And Lexington, certainly one of those teams. Doesn't matter how many defenders are around. They're confident with the ball, and they're willing to try to make that pass to set up big shots like this one. But a diving stave is made by Bryson.
From the boys soccer teams that I've seen so far this season, I would put Worcester up there, and then I would put Lexington right behind them as, one of the most unselfish teams that there is. They're never, if it's a one-on-one, they're obviously going to take the goal, but if they got multiple guys around them, they're going to try to find a teammate, set him up. Depperschmidt, he has more assists than he does goals. I think that's pretty remarkable. He might get one here. We'll see if he can, but George not able to get a great shot off of it.
Another healthy setup, though, by Alex from the outside. And I love his versatility. He plays up top. He's in the middle of the field, but you see he's so damn fast, G-Man. If he takes a big touch to the outside, he just goes with it.
Yeah. They're not catching him in the open field. No Clear Fork's able to match him in that regard, so Deberschmidt already making an impact, and he hasn't even had a goal so far here tonight.
Goal kick, flick forward. Too much, though, for Blakely. And now here comes Alex. Pushes it ahead for George. Ball up for grabs. And a physical attack. Whistle is going to go here against the Minutemen. Foul number 6. We've had 10 total fouls here in this first half between both sides. Great looking ball here to the outside. Now Heibel brings it into the interior. Looking to make a move. He wins his 1v1. Now he unloads, but it goes wide.
Lexington taking a plethora of shots towards that goal. Only one able to sink in, and about that same area too. This time not able to cash in. It goes a little too wide to the left. As Minutemen still up 1-0 here in this first half.
And they're dominating the time of possession right now. Really having a great time with the rock. I see, our own Hayden Gray says, all right, Brian and G, if you both took turns as goalie and the other tried to score on you, who would score more goals in 10 attempts? Well, you have the self-proclaimed best hands in Richland County. I grew up playing soccer. I did play goalie. I like my abilities probably a little bit better than yours. I do practice with my daughter. So I'm going to take myself in that matchup, but I'm not going to count you out. It's probably going to be a good battle.
I've never played soccer in my life,
right.
So I would give you the head.
I'll take a slight edge.
Brian, but
so I'll at least come in the odds-on favorite in Vegas.
Yeah, me and Storm actually talked about this last night, but Abby Little was the one shooting, and I was back there, and I thought maybe I might get one, just off pure luck. Maybe she just misses. So, yeah, I don't like my chances there. But once again, you don't knock it till you try it. So maybe I might be the best goalkeeper, in Ohio.
Hey, until you step in between the frame there, as this is a great ball. It just sails over the top, though. Depperschmidt was tracking it, and Bryson makes a solid catch. Check this one out on the replay. Just barely over the salad there of Depperschmidt.
And if he gets any piece of that, that's a goal for Lexington, but just over top of the head there for Alex. Lexington now getting some better looks, you could say, here in the latter half of this first half.
And for the Colts right now, haven't even seen a counterattack, G-Man, in, at least 15 minutes.
Yeah, Lexington has dominated time of possession here towards the end. Connor Hauger and Clear Fork had a couple chances there early, but other than that, it's been mostly Lexington. We'll see Depperschmidt here fighting for it, but they're going to give it back to Clear Fork.
Interesting call. I barely saw any contact. Alex is keeping his cool. I probably would have been a little bit more upset than even he was.
I thought there was contact from both sides if they're going to call anything. It was kind of a toss-up there. So, Alex, I know a fiery player, surprised. He was okay with that call, but could get a chance here.
Here he is gaining possession. Drops it back to the midfield. Now Husty looking for some options. Likes to get it to Eric. Nice ball movement right now for Lex. Good looking build up as they'll drive it backside. Header. And a diving save. Ball stays in bounds though. But Schaffner ends up with the rock. Solid defense that time by the keeper.
Great play right there from Schaffner, deflecting the first one, then able to get back up and save another one. So hanging tough back there between the pipes for Clear Fork here.
Bryson with 6 saves so far in the contest. Lexington peppering the net. 16 total shots so far. Another turn and a drive, but deflected by Clear Fork. Done a solid job of doing that tonight. Might even went off of his cheekbone. But sometimes that's a sacrifice you got to be willing to make out there, G. Ooh, fancy setup to the corner, and it's going to earn a corner kick as Jack Heibel. I mean, look at that. Whoop. Pretty slick.
Yeah, this Lexington squad, they know how to, share the wealth. Not afraid to get it to an open teammate, as now the tremendous pass sets up a corner kick here for Dylan George and company.
Nobody short cornering this time for Lex. And boy, he just belts this one. Backside, headed down. Colts will clear it. But really nobody in the area for him. But after the misplay, not a great touch that time by Nick Martin. I think he was a little bit early trying to find Swindoll. See if the replay won't show the whole thing, but I think if he could have taken at least one more touch, just see what the defender's going to do first. We've had so few opportunities that maybe he just took him off guard.
All right.
And we'll get a substitution. Blakely back into the mix after a short rest. McCauley's going to take a seat.
Blakely, you alluded to, Brian, one of their better field players, too. Used to seeing him back at goalkeeper. He has 65 saves on the season, but also third on the team in goal scoring.
Yeah, it's always a tough decision. When I was growing up, we played with a kid who was definitely our best keeper, was also our best forward. So it was always that choice before the game. But what do we need more of today, boys? Do we need some electricity up top, or do we need someone that we know is definitely going to be solid back in the net? Tonight, Clear Fork electing to go more of the offensive route, but we haven't seen Griffin have any type of an impact, as that one was tracking, but out of bounds for a goal kick. And I think with Lexington tonight, we're 33 minutes into the match. They've had quite a few moments where I'm not like literally holding my breath, but it feels like they're going to have an opportunity, have a good-looking build-up. They've only cashed in one time, but it's a team that you can just tell they play soccer so well, and they're deadly, they're dangerous. They've had quite a few opportunities.
Yeah, there's been multiple, crosses and passes that just haven't – they've been inches away from connecting with some of the Minutemen out there. We've seen the one where Depperschmidt was running towards the box, couldn't get a head on it. If he was able to, goalkeeper was really nowhere in sight. He wasn't able to score that one. So expect Lexington to continue with their foot on the gas. Some of these will eventually begin to fall as you see some physical play out there in the corner.
It looked like a full throttle push there by Roberts. And usually when you get the two hands fully extended, that's going to draw a whistle every time. Not so much that one. And it's going to lead to a throw-in here for the Minutemen. They'll get a deep toss into the box. Perkins was shielding off his defender. And this is definitely going to draw a foul as Blakely tripped up and gives the Colts a chance to flip the field for the first time in at least 20 minutes. It's been a while. As that was almost a very clever flick, but it didn't work out. And now a giveaway for the Colts. Looked like a miscommunication as Peters turned back to the outside and his teammates thought he should go after the ball.
Now, does it vary matchup to matchup, Brian, with, putting Blakely back there? Or do you think it's just we're going to need some offense tonight, or would you just rather value an offensive player over, a goalkeeper?
Oh, nice job by the defense. I think Griffin just brings a level of physicality up top that Lexington, you talked about the way that they play, and they're so aggressive. It's nice to have a guy that can match that. I think Griffin is that up top for this team. So that would be my guess. I didn't have an opportunity to talk to Coach about that. And then also, Bryson's done a great job in the net.
Right.
So you're not really downgrading that much. I would think that Griffin probably would be the top choice if you could clone him. You'd want him, two of them out there. But at the same time, I think that it's probably a wise choice to have him up top, banging with some of these bodies on the black line like Corbin and Tagliati and such. Oh, no whistle. So Perkins lays it off. Chance for a shot from Roberts. He unloads, but Beer is there. And that one driven out of bounds, so it'll be another throw-in for Lex, now on short time, just over 4 minutes to go. Depperschmidt, what a turn, but into heavy traffic. Colts with the clear, at least initially. Now they'll work it here near side with Lucas Dove. Always seems to be at least one Minuteman that has a man bun. That I've noticed over these last several seasons.
A lot of great, salads out there that you like to call them, Brian. We've seen a couple. Depperschmidt's got some. Perkins. We got the bun, so.
Yeah.
Keep the hair follicles got up right here at Lexington.
Yeah, a lot of conditioner probably sold in that town, I would imagine. Oh, good-looking ball. Depperschmidt called offsides, though. Wasn't able to catch up anyways. He thought that he had timed it out perfectly. And that's actually the first offside on either side tonight. Let's see on the replay. It's tough to tell because they weren't both in frame right at the start. I just think he's really fast.
Yeah, he's a blur. I mean, him and Perkins, man, they're like Ferraris out there. If you don't got your head on a swivel with them, they'll run right by you if you're not paying attention. So Depperschmidt making an impact here tonight with this passing. Let's see if he can get, a goal here. Is almost a great setup to Perkins that was.
Yeah, got to throw out some love to Bronson Frost that time, the sophomore making a nice step. And Bryson with the grab. Punt and the 50-50 ball belongs to Husty. And we've seen just about all of those have been won out of the air by Lexington. Weren't able to do anything with it that time. Perkins, though, turns, keeps it in bounds. And it's been a very fast feeling first half as almost 40 minutes already gone by. And I feel like I say it every match, broken record, but short time. Doesn't matter which side scores. These are always bigger. I don't care that it only counts for one. Just with the momentum going into the half, anytime you can spark yourself, that way there's that, that big feeling of energy before you go into the break. I just think they matter a little bit more. So if either side can come through with something, I think it might help out, certainly, moving forward towards a victory. And Minutemen going to be set up with a prime spot right here. Set piece, a lot of bodies on the outside of the 18, and they'll allow them to all collect. Seven of them to be exact inside the box. But one out of the air by Clear Fork. Whew. Somehow that missed everybody. Skated through out of bounds.
As you mentioned, Brian, those short time left kind of goals. The game that we were at last night before our game happened, Lineville took on Crestview. And 10 minutes left, Lineville got a goal. Then Crestview got a goal with about 3 minutes remaining. Went to golden goal, the first 15 minutes. Nobody scored there. Went to a second one, nobody scored. And then we went to PKs, and Crestview upset them. So I think it does, get a lot of momentum, coming into that. If you're able to score with just maybe a couple seconds remaining, as now we got just about 30 seconds left in this first half.
Yeah, I love that Mid-Buckeye Conference tournament. One of the cooler things they do here in the area. I'd like to see all the conferences put something together like that, but I understand for some of these leagues, maybe not necessary, as that one's deflected into the hands of the keeper, Schaffner. Gives it one last big boot, and that is going to take us into the break with Lexington on top, 1-0 on the road here at the Colt Corral. Even though they kind of dominated that first half, Clear Fork still hanging around, down by just one goal as we take it into the break. Stick around as we will have our Mansfield Roofing and Home Improvement halftime on the way. Me and G-Man will break down what we saw for the first 40 minutes, give you all the stats that you need to know, and get you ready for half number 2. It's live and free and only on the OH Report, and we'll be back in just a minute.
In today's world of supply chain shortages and disruptions, having raw material or finished goods inventory on hand to fill customer orders is more important than ever. Based in North Central Ohio and with locations nationwide, including 5 throughout the Buckeye State, MWD Logistics can find your business the warehouse space needed to manage your distribution and logistic needs. Grow your bottom line with flexible warehousing solutions at MWD Logistics.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start?
Here, in the classroom.
On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great. Participate!
Are you looking for a solid career, job security, great pay, and rapid advancement? An important role with a global leader that invests in state-of-the-art technology, develops world-class solutions, and is committed to a cleaner tomorrow? Yeah, we have just what you're looking for.
It's halftime here at the Clear Fork Corral, where 40 minutes are in the books. That team right there, they own a 1-0 advantage. Lexington here on the road, dominating the first half statistics, as we are about to show you right here and now. I'm Brian Skronsky, got Garrett G-Man Parlett with me, and it's just 1-0 on the scoreboard, so Clear Fork very much in this match. But as the numbers are going to show you, G, presented by Mansfield Roofing and Home Improvement, a lot of shots, just not a lot to show for it.
Yeah, Lexington just up 1-0, but as you mentioned, 17 shots, just 7 on goal. They've had a couple good looks, really good looks, but not a ton to where it should be maybe 6-7-0. But still, getting a ton of goals is what Lexington's trying to do, but not able to get that so far here tonight. Clear Fork's played solid, but the offense just hasn't been there. Lexington has been really swarming whenever Connor Harger gets the ball. That's Clear Fork's main guy that they want to go to on offense. But Lexington doing it on both sides here tonight, just not able to show for it too much on the scoreboard, even though they still lead 1-0.
And the 2 shots for Clear Fork both came after fouls where they were set up with free kicks. Both of them off target, of course. No shots on net, which means that the back line for Lexington, they've done a nice job and also protected their keeper, Nolan Stewart, from having to do too much heavy lifting, if any at all. I don't even think really he's had to touch it with his hands, G. So the ball has been living over on Clear Fork's side of things, and if that keeps up for them, it's going to be really tough for them to get back to even, especially because the big through balls, those counterattacks, they just weren't there. Well, I didn't see Clear Fork be able to put anyone to use in that first half because that Lexington back line of defense, who gives up less than a goal per contest, they're just solid.
Did you mention really their only 2 shots were those free kicks? One